Today we actually have someone special. Um, we have Tenji, the Dev Queen. Without further ado, let me just give you a brief introduction of Tenji. So Tenji is a software engineer by trade. An academic researcher, a corporate tontun, whatever that is. She started building back-end payment system as a junior engineer, and then she scaled into retail software with an interest in artificial intelligence. Her current interests include learning and development, and also some research. Um, but really, her true aim is shaping and developing graduate and research programs within corporate that will ensure an effective return of investment for the stakeholders. Tenji, how are you?
Hi guys, I'm good and thank you for having me today.
Oh, great, great. Thank you for making the time, actually.
My
Um,
pleasure, my pleasure.
I don't think you did any justice to your. I did any justice to the introduction. Do you mind just giving us like the full details? I know you're the dev queen. I mean,
Yeah.
let's get let's get into the weeds. Yeah.
Okay. So here's an introduction of myself. I basically started off building back-end payment systems within a very popular product that's being used in a very actually Africa's biggest retailer, right? So I started off building the back-end payment systems on the bank side. So I started with the bank that was supporting that product. Then I went to the retailer that was supporting that product, right? So I basically started off my career in Cape Town. So the bank was in Stellenbosch, and then the retailer was in Brackenfell. Then, whilst building that product, which went on to be a really big product. Every time I see it, actually, I
Yeah.
think to myself, "Wow, look how big it is!" And I was part of the team that was building it.
In the
So
initiation
whilst
stage.
building that product, I got introduced now to what they call demand forecasting, retail demand forecasting. So back in the days, there was a lot of waste. So retailers would stock up a whole lot of food, and then the food would go to waste, and then some of the food would be sold to staff at markdown. There's no profit already. When it's sold to staff at markdown, there's no profit for the retailer.
Yeah.
And then some of it would be wasted. So the waste was pretty high, right? So the aim was to take the waste down to 5%. And
Damn.
then I started joining that team where we were working with forecasting models that would aim to stock out the stock. So with the old forecasting models, what happened is that the owners, the product owners, so what you do have in food is that each product has an owner. So product owner cheese, and then product owner butter, product owner chocolate, and so on and so on. Caviar, oysters, chicken, those have product owners. So the product owners would tweak the models. That's how ineffective they were, right? And after a couple of years of work, there was no need to tweak them. They were so effective, they were able to stock out, right? So they were able to stock out the stock. And then from there, being introduced to retail demand forecasting models, I moved to a big tech company where I was going to go and extend my knowledge in terms of demand forecasting, right? And then now we're building the new age models that would be able to bring operational efficiency into the supply chain, and so on. Because one thing about the supply chain, especially that of food, it's very complicated, right? You must know in a certain area, right? Let me make, for an example, let's say in Dobsonville, Soweto, right? Then the product that's very popular there, let's say it's rainbow chicken, just for an example, rainbow chicken is really popular there, right? So we must know what quantities of rainbow chicken need to go there, and then they need to be stocked out at a certain time. Let's say maybe yum yum peanut butter is not famous there, so you don't take a lot there. Maybe that is famous in Sandton or something like that, right? So there I was going to go and really get my knowledge base way up there in terms of demand forecasting. Then when I came back from the big tech company, came back now to come and be now a corporate researcher and institute corporate research within corporations, retail corporations. So currently now I'm just finishing my double masters, and then we can start rolling out papers coming from the retail sector.
Oh wow! So you're doing your research in demand forecasting?
No. It's definitely has changed. It's very big. What you're looking at now is the supply chain, this traceable and transparent. So now we're looking at supply chains that's traceable and transparent. So let's say Thenjiwe has a couple of contracts with company ABC, and a couple of contracts with company BCX, and a couple of contracts with company B something, right? There should be a way in which all the stakeholders, when I'm talking about the stakeholders, I'm talking about employees, I'm talking about the community, I'm talking about the state, I'm talking about the shareholders, I'm talking about the owners, I'm talking about what is this? The suppliers. I'm talking about what's the seventh one? Seventh one. Debtors. Those stakeholders, those primary stakeholders. There's also the secondary ones like unions and NGOs and the media. But I'm talking about the 7 primary ones. There should be a way in which they can see that the supply chain is transparent, not only contracts going to supplier C or supplier D and so on, and also fast tracking the journey of food from the supplier, right, the farmer, right, straight to the consumer's table, right. So that should be transparent in terms of the consumer should see that, hey, my food comes from farm so on and so on, and then some farm so on and so on practices certain ethical things, right? It doesn't do any child labor. There's no abuse of the animals that I'm going to be eating, right? And it is employing so many youth. It's not underpaying youth. There's no sexual abusers working at that farm, inquiring at that farm. So all that stuff. So that supplier and how the food would run through the supply chain, and making sure all farmers basically, and most farmers have an opportunity within the retail supply chain. And one last thing that it aims to do is to make sure that, retail on its end ends hunger, right? It's, of course, the sector that's in charge of the food. So why wouldn't the sector in charge of the food help in terms of ending hunger, right? In terms of taking down the food prices are skyrocketed. They've just skyrocketed. And you would think the retailers are making a lot of money. No, the profit margins are between 3 to 5%. There's no money. So we call it high volume, low profit. So in terms of now then increasing the profit, then the operations have to be efficient, enhanced. And that's what we're using a whole lot of game theory, machine learning, and a whole lot of applied mathematics to make sure that the supply chain and the operations are enhanced so that the food prices can really go down.
Yeah, speaking on that, whenever I engage like a regular person about machine learning or AI, they always say those problems are too far-fetched. It's so interesting that you mentioned something that's very close to home, like for instance things like alleviating hunger and being more efficient in like food and trying to have more food security. So it's the knowledge I feel like people, myself included to some degree, we don't have preview to. So
Yeah.
this is what you're saying is very, very interesting, especially with the concept of demand forecasting. Do you mind explaining that, like, or what is demand forecasting? Is it more like a recommendation system or something of that sort?
No. It's not a recommendation system. So it's based on multiple factors, right? It's based
Yeah.
on multiple factors. It's based on the demand, number one, right? It's based on the prices. It's placed on the location and area. It's placed on the marketing strategies, right? And so on. So it's placed on different things. Online, it's placed on ratings. It's placed on which products get stocked out the most. So there's a lot of things that determine then how then would a product move. But basically, it's based on demand, and demand is based on a lot of factors, sales, product within. When you look at products, we look at products within the store. We look at products within the distribution center. So which are moving more. We look at the online products. We look at the products that are getting ordered more at the dark stores, because now there's dark stores, because there's a lot of congestion inside the stores thanks to online shopping. So moving the online shopping to dark stores now, that's where the online shopping is going. So that's basically what demand forecasting is at a very high level, not going deep down into explaining the math of it, but it's basically based on demands of a product, a certain product.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I think yeah, that kind of draws a picture for me. But I'm still trying to think, does it fall more on the data science part of things or the machine learning side of things?
It's machine learning.
It's machine learning, yeah.
Yeah, machine learning.
Okay. So tell me.
So the data science is more on the recommender system, where the clients would have your cards, these reward cards you have.
Yeah.
That's why there's so much emphasis on the cards. The retailers will push people to always have their cards and everything. So that card enables sales. So 80% of sales basically are based on the rewards programs and the cards.
Oh, okay. So is that a good thing in your like knowledge for us to keep on using those cards?
Yeah. Those cards are good. It enables companies to be able to be more efficient, right? In terms of stocking, and then in terms of bringing you the product as the consumer that you like. Remember, it's to serve all stakeholders, right? When we're serving all stakeholders, we need to make sure that there is efficiency for all stakeholders, not just the customer, not just the shareholder, but the state as a whole. As I'm saying, as the food industry is the most important industry, because no food security, no country.
No country, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's so impactful. Like something like machine learning can have so much effect on how we can like use our food, on how it influences the food that we get and things like that. I like the example that you made of Dobsonville, the type of chicken that you know that you're gonna get there, the quantity and everything. So I think it really does make sense for us to use to have that kind of knowledge. I'm just thinking now, there's just been a lot of buzz around this LLM, and there's LLMs, there's MCPs, there's all of that. Like, what do you say about that? Because I haven't heard you speak on that one bit. You've just been talking about machine learning and data science.
Okay. No, LLMs are quite overrated for me. I think we are at the stage where we need a new type of architecture, and that's basically what I'm actually considering my PhD to be on. You know,
Jesus,
we have used off the whole attention because the LLM is based on the attention model. So we have used off that one, we cannot, it's not sustainable anymore for us to be continuing to use that kind of a model. And so the mathematicians are the ones that need to be designing the models because it's designed at a maths level.
Sorry to cut you, Thenjiwe. You said attention model. What do you mean by that?
So, the LLM is based on the attention model. The paper was published back in 2017 by Google Brains. It is called Attention is All You Need. So all these LLMs that are all popular all around everything, it's based on the attention model.
Okay.
Yeah. So the attention model is still based on the old way of collecting data and then having that data, cleaning it and everything. I mean, we haven't moved since 2017, since actually, AI became a statistic-based branch of academia. We haven't moved. We're still sitting on the model must have data and the data supervised learning, unsupervised. It's still the same as back then, right? So there needs to be a new way and a new type of architecture that is built that wouldn't need such intensive data.
Oh, okay. So you're looking at a model that will use less data and less computation.
Or be using something different altogether, right, to learn. Because we do use data, but we do not need a lot of data to learn, right? As compared to machine learning models, which need a lot of data to learn. A little kid just has little sufficient data, and then they learn from that kind of data.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's interesting. But then the kid has to keep on learning, and then they have to keep on getting more They keep on getting more information.
Yeah. The kid learns quite quickly. Really. Yeah. The kid learns quite quickly. And then when you look at machine learning, do we call it learning or is it just repeating of a lot of patterns? Because that's what it is, right? It's repeating of a lot of patterns. Because the attention model, what it does, right, it is really good at repetitive tasks, right? So are we ever going to get an AI that is not good at repetitive tasks?
But I mean, LLMs, when you look at them from an outside point of view, they're not that repetitive. Like you can ask them questions and they just come up with an answer.
They're repetitive. If the question has never been asked, then in theory, it won't be able to answer it.
I mean, yeah, there was a glitch. I don't know whether it's a glitch or what on ChatGPT. I think it was adding numbers incorrectly. I forgot
because it wasn't. It didn't get enough data in terms of how to add these numbers. So models are trained basically on data, and then it can repeat the task, repeat the task, repeat the task, repeat the task.
But
you can ask the AI now, how can we get from out of this solar system? How can we get out of this solar system and go to the next solar system? Right? It won't be able to answer that. It will tell you of who said this and this and this, and then it will tell you where it got its information from and all that stuff, and so on. So it gets its information from somewhere else, right? Or it's trained on a lot of data and it knows what to repeat. So if it's going to write there, it knows there's THE or THER and so on. So that's what the attention model basically does.
Oh, okay. But that's very similar to what a machine learning model does, right?
Yes, most machine learning models are repetitive. That's my whole aim. Yeah. So when are we moving away from the whole data-intensive, repetitive machine so-called intelligence?
So you spoke of an architecture that you're working on, so I'm guessing the solution is coming from you, right?
I haven't even started writing my proposal for PhD. For me, it would be more feasible and more, what can I say, rational for me to write about, to be using the mathematics within a corporate environment and not to go into a theoretical thing, because now who's going to fund that, right? The problem with research is that it needs to be funded, especially high-end research. But if it has a corporate application, then the funding can go there. But if it's theoretical in that mode, then it would need a whole lot of funding, because it's a whole new architecture altogether, and it would require a lot of time which I'm not even sure I would dedicate. So I think someone could work on such an architecture, just not me.
Yeah, you're not that drawn into it. I feel like from the way that you're talking, you're more drawn into the corporate space.
Yeah.
Is it because of the money, or is it because
there's money. There's money, and there's if you want to get something funded and so on, it's no stress. So if you can get something funded within there, it's no stress. And South Africa has never had a strong research in terms of corporate. And I like the fact that I am kind of like leading the search, that, hey guys, let's go and publish. Let's go publish more stuff. Let's publish. So it would be nice, people seeing papers coming out of, let's say, for instance, Capitec, Shoprite, Woolworths, FNB, you see, all that stuff. That would be nice. You see that, hey, this is what we guys are working on, and this is what we're using this for, and then you're seeing it in an academic context. That would really be nice. One, we have a shortage of quality academic papers coming from out here, right? I've read some master's papers from here. They're really horrible. Some are good, some are horrible. But if corporate would come and say, hey, we're publishing now, we're joining the universities and we're also publishing from our side. We have an R&D department and we're also publishing. That would be really great.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I never really thought of it that way. I always look at it from an academic institution where they have to release. I never thought of it like, but I mean, ARM does it. They release papers. NVIDIA does it. They release papers. I mean, I just never thought like corporate, like companies, like the ones that you just mentioned, could actually do that. So, what about like you increasing your footprint in like teaching? And because I know from a while back you did do some teaching in at vets at some point for hackathons or things like that. You also had a group of learners that you were teaching coding and AI or something like that. Do you mind dwelling on that?
Okay. Yeah, in terms of teaching, I would like to go into it maybe as a part-time thing, right? Go and teach, because it would be nice to have some people from industry to go and teach inside, and maybe also organize some other guest lectures going out. That I would really like to do. And also maybe try and push for also some lessons going out in terms of, what can I call it, an AI or a data science or a software engineering academy that's going out free of charge, but I would have a corporation funding it, and then it would go to the public. That I would like to see, and then bring on some different developers. But it should have an application, a real life application, so that people can be able to tie what is being taught to what happens in a company. So that I would like to see being launched.
Yeah, is it something that you're big on, that the disconnect between institutions and what is out there? Is it like, is it something you experienced yourself, where you like up for a rude awakening when you went into the industry and you found out like, oh, snap.
It's so different. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's something I'm very big on. There's a big disconnect. So we need to bring where the money is sitting. I mean, the South African corporations are sitting on a trillion rand just sitting there, right? In the balance sheet, it's sitting there, it's not doing anything. So some of that money must go and go back to the communities, right? And plow back in terms of research and development, plow back in terms of learning and development. You can't have $1 trillion sitting and a couple of oligopolies sitting with just $1 trillion and not doing anything. I'm talking about money that's just sitting.
Yeah.
It's not for operations. This one is just sitting.
It's just piggyback.
So the balance sheet last financial year was sitting at $1 trillion. God knows what it's sitting at for this financial year. Yeah.
Oh, man.
So that's totally unacceptable. And on top of that, the PIC, which belongs to the state, is a major shareholder in most of the companies. So I do think the PIC, right, would like to see such an initiative go out, because what happens is that the PIC takes money from the government employees, pension fund, guardians fund, all those stuff, and then they invest it in the public companies, and then there would be return on investment, then that would go back into the pockets of the government employees, right? Why don't we give back to also the government employees' kids, right, in terms of now corporate getting to do some other stuff with the profit that was gained there? Because sometimes the profit margins are just insane.
Yeah. You don't say.
Yeah. Let's plow back. Let's take the money back.
Let's take the money and plow back, especially in causes that will enrich us.
Causes that will enrich and causes that will make the country richer. It's all about that, right? Making the country richer. And also the supply chain, the reason why I'm so passionate about it, if it gets to open up and become really transparent, there can be more opportunities for youth to be able to do business with big companies. People are not trained basically on business and how it's supposed to do. So when you come to me and you tell me about your business and everything, the first thing I ask you, so what's the mission and vision? People never are able to get past that first stage. So if you do not know what the mission and vision is, how are we going to move forward? And then from the mission and vision, then that's the strategy part, right? We should have the values, then we should have the strategic objectives. Then from the strategic objectives, we go and build the structure. So the structure of the company, right? So how do we now go and build that structure of the company? Be it a tech company or any other company, right? We build that structure of the company, right? Then from the structure, right, we go and build the systems, right? What gets done in this business, right? Then those systems, we go now and we go and look at the skills we're going to need, we go and look at the staff we're going to need. And then from there, we have the shared values, which is the corporate culture, right? Then from there, we go and build some balanced scorecards, which is how we will measure if we are meeting our strategic objectives, right, through the balanced scorecards. Then after the balanced scorecards, you need to be doing your SWOT and pestle analysis. So most companies definitely won't be able to survive outside, right, without the support of these guys who are sitting on $1 trillion, right?
Okay.
1 trillion just sitting in a supply database that's not transparent. No ways. Tech must come to make that supply chain very transparent and traceable. Thenjiwe can't be sitting with 10 contracts alone. Thenjiwe. Just because she's the favorite golden. No. Let's get very transparent.
Yeah, the supply chain, especially here, the level of corruption that Africa is tainted by is just bad. Having those sort of systems in place would definitely help. But I think that's a long way to go. But I mean, it's not all dooming and bad.
It's not all doom and gloom,
yeah,
but there's still a long way to go.
it's still a long, yeah. But yeah, you know what? You know what's interesting? I was expecting more technicality when we were having this when we were setting up this. But ever since hearing you, you seemed to be more on the business side of things. Like you seem to be more on the strategic side. You're thinking how to use AI to better people. You know what? I was expecting like, okay, we're gonna talk about this model, that model, and that model. So, but it's.
But the thing is, you can get anyone to talk about that, right?
Yeah.
But you're gonna get very few people that can tell you about the strategic and how we can apply these in terms of a strategic factor. I was a dev long time ago. I've been a dev for a long time, but now having learned the strategic part and how to now use these to solve problems, that is more where I think my knowledge base would be more important.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Tenji, I think we just have to unfortunately stop. Yeah, I could go on for hours talking about this. Is there anything that you'd like to say before we close this off?
Yeah, I'd like to say to the young people out there who really want to join into the tech sector, it's a really great sector, but you have to be passionate. Don't come because of money. Don't become because you heard of models, and don't come because you've heard of how they are getting used in big businesses and you heard all this money. Come because you're passionate, right?
Yeah.
Because at the bottom there, it's very difficult. That's where you're going to start with a lot of sleepless nights, a lot of frustration, a lot of errors. It's not easy down there at the bottom where you are starting as a dev. But that's where you need to start. Yeah. So you're going to start there, and then that's where the passion will push you. And then from there on, you will climb your way up, and you'll get to be fascinated by the other side of tech.
Okay, great. Wow, that's just reignited something in me. You know, when we were starting this out, I really didn't. I'd say I really didn't expect it to affect me the way it's affected me. Especially with the guests that we've been having, like the inspiration that we've been getting, and just generally how inspired young people are in Africa to just keep pushing the banner and just keep working, and how despite their circumstances are just pushing. But yeah, thank you everyone for listening on Explorers. Join us again next time. Hope to hear from you again. Stay curious.
Thank you guys. Stay curious.